One of the teenagers I was working with asked me, does smoking help me lose weight or no? Did you know that some normal weight teenage girls are more than twice as likely to start smoking if they're trying to lose weight? This was an interesting study that was done a few years ago in 2001 and actually give evidence to the fact that there is this misconception among teenagers that if they are trying to get to a healthier weight and they smoke, then they can lose weight. So the actual title of this manuscript is Smoking and Weight Loss Attempts in Overweight and Normal Weight Adolescents. It was published in 2001. And what this study did is they had several hundreds of teenagers that they actually asked them about their smoking habits. And not only did they ask them about the smoking habits, they actually took a blood sample and measure the nicotine levels. So there was like 1,132 teenagers between the ages of 12 to 18 years old. And they also asked them about the smoking, if they're trying to lose weight, what was their height and weight. They calculated their body mass index, which is a measurement of whether they have extra weight or normal weight. If you want to know what is a BMI and how to calculate the BMI for your teenager, you can go to episode 1 of the Lifestyle and Weight Loss for Teens podcast. But in summary, BMI is a tool that scientists use to tell whether a teenager has a normal weight or is overweight. What the researchers found was that teenage girls that were normal weight, they were trying to lose weight, they were twice more likely to start smoking compared to teenagers who had normal weight and they were not trying to lose weight. On the other hand, they looked at teenagers that were overweight and they found no differences in the overweight smoking teenagers who were trying to lose weight or who were not trying to lose weight. Now, what is more interesting is that they also looked at other healthy habits that were associated with a smoking habit. So what they found was that teenagers that were smoking were eating less fruits and vegetables. And they also found that teenagers that were smoking, they also had more alcohol. Now, they also evaluated what kind of diet the teenagers were doing, and they found that teenagers who were smoking actually had poor diets. Now, this is, as I mentioned, one of the biggest studies in teenagers that showed this association of increased smoking with unhealthy habits of less fruits, less vegetables, more alcohol, less healthy choices. And more importantly, the girls that were smoking were not different than the girls that were not smoking and they were trying to lose weight. So smoking does not work as a method to decrease the weight in teenagers. That is what this study suggests. And another takeaway from this study is that teenagers have this misconception that if you start smoking, you will lose weight because when adults stop smoking, there is an associated 3 to 5 kilograms weight gain. So it is true that there is weight gain associated with smoking cessation, but the opposite is not true. If you are smoking, that doesn't lead to weight loss. If you stop smoking, there may be weight regain because as a method to overcome this addiction, a lot of people turn to food to satisfy the emotional reasons that led to smoking the first place. It's a different mechanism versus if gaining weight versus if you are losing weight. Now, Also, what is important to take away from this study is that there are other studies that showed over time in adults, in people that were smoking versus people that were not smoking, over time there was the same weight gain in people that were smoking versus people that were not smoking. It doesn't also prevent the overtime weight gain that is associated with aging in adults. We did not have data from this particular study in adolescents on what happens over time, but this is a good take-home message that smoking not only doesn't lead to weight loss, but it also doesn't prevent weight gain in the future. So if you're a teenager listening to this and you're smoking in an effort to lose weight, it doesn't work. The question is, what is another alternative? My approach to alternative is to build healthy habits that are sustainable and give you not only healthy weight, but they also preventing you from cardiovascular disease that is associated with smoking, high cholesterol, strokes and heart attacks in the future, lung disease, cancer, and all those things. So the easiest and healthier approach for weight loss in teenagers would be to build a healthy lifestyle that is associated with healthy habits, good nutrition, fruits and vegetables, limited processed food, limiting sugar, increasing the exercise, sleeping more, and managing your emotions. If you want to get 30 free recipes that are high in protein and can be ready in less than 30 minutes for teenagers, you can go to lifestyleforteens.com/recipes to download that free resource. And you can also check on free resources for some other free help. I hope that was helpful. I'll talk to you soon.